I think a good starting point for a discussion on deconstruction would be difference. I've already engaged a class on difference and spoken in some detail about it. Hence, I do not intend to spend too much time today in the company of difference. Jacques Derrida coined the word difference, but it has been said that difference is not a word, it is a non-word, and developed the concept of difference. But it has been said that difference is not a concept, it's a non-concept. Jacques Derrida coined the word difference and developed the concept difference in order to voice his understanding of the nature of the word. According to Derrida, one is never ever able to arrive at the meaning, to arrive at the final meaning of a word. When one searches for the meaning of a word, what one gets is not its meaning, but another word or a group of words. This word leads us to further words, and thus a never-ending process is commenced. According to Derrida, there is a constant deferral of the transcendental meaning of the word. Similarly, Derrida held that a word gets its identity because it differs from the other words in the language. If language is a web of words, a particular word gets its identity because it is different from the other words. I would like to move from difference, which has two components, which means to defer or to postpone, and also to differ, which means to be different from, to the concept of trace. I would like to move from the concept of difference to the concept of trace. The word trace means something which indicates or suggests the presence or the passing of something else. Trace means the mark or the sign of the presence or the passing of something. Trace can also mean a very small quantity, especially a quantity which cannot be measured because it is too small. In French, the word trace also means track, path, spoor. According to Derrida, every sign contains the traces of other signs. A word, according to Derrida, has a meaning which is generated from its difference from other signs. The meaning of a sign is generated from the difference it has from other signs, especially from its binary opposite or the other half of its binary pair. Hence, every sign contains within itself a trace of what it does not mean. I don't know whether I am putting myself across to you effectively. I shall repeat it again. Every sign contains within itself a trace of the sign which is its binary opposite. Because a word gets its identity as a result of the fact that it differs from the other words in the language, the word contains within itself traces of the other words in the language, especially a trace of the word which is semantically opposed to it. I think it would be better if I give you a few concrete examples. When I use the word big, it is inevitable that you think of big as something opposed to small, and hence it can be said that the word big has within itself a trace of the word small. Similarly, the word woman brings up the word man, and the word woman hence contains within itself a trace of its binary opposite, man. From Derrida's point of view, the trace is the mark of the absence of a presence. Mark my words. From Derrida's point of view, the trace is a mark of the absence of a presence. It is an always, already absent present. It is an always, already absent present. The main takeaway of this discussion is that words do not have stable meanings, and that language is by its inherent nature subjective. What are literary texts made of? Words, language, of course. Derrida feels that it is absurd on our part to think that a literary text can have a coherent, solid meaning when the literary text is made of words which have unstable meanings is made of language which is by nature subjective. A literary text, because of the very fact that it is nothing but a huge collection of words, cannot have a single coherent meaning. The very nature of language makes it impossible, so thinks Derrida, to fix with finality the center, the structure, the boundaries, the meaning, the coherence of a literary text. A literary text, from the Derridian point of view, is not a number of elements working in perfect unison to create one coherent meaning, but a battlefield of warring forces of signification. In new criticism, it is the task of the reader to interpret the text and bring out its meaning, glossing over the contradictions in the text. In deconstruction, it is the task of the reader to identify the contradictions in the text and to highlight them. Please do not get the impression that deconstruction is out and out negative. It is not. Of course, there is some negativity in it. There cannot be criticism without negativity. But there is also a lot of positivity in deconstruction. There is also a lot of love in deconstruction. Derrida once explained, deconstruction is always accompanied by love. On another occasion, Derrida declared, I deconstruct what I love. I think I should tell my wife this, but I dare not. She may immediately start deconstructing me. I hope she will not listen to this. Well, as I have been saying, there is a lot of love, a lot of positivity in deconstruction. Deconstruction is not destruction. Deconstruction is not demolition. Deconstruction is an attempt to challenge the centrality of the center. Deconstruction is an attempt to find new centers and to find them in the margins. Deconstruction is an attempt to prevent centers from remaining centers for too long a time. Deconstruction is not the dismantling of the structure of a text, but a demonstration that the text has already dismantled itself. Deconstruction is an effort to reveal that the foundation on which the text rests is made not of rock but of thin air. Deconstruction burns with the awareness that there is no seamless web in this world, and that if there is a seamless web and it is subjected to examination, there will be gaping holes in it. Deconstruction arrived as a much needed corrective to the Western philosophical tradition spanning nearly 2,500 years. And it impacted a remarkable variety of disciplines, including history, sociology, political science, anthropology, linguistics, law, and even architecture. Now that you have been listening to me on deconstruction for quite some time, I hope you have an answer to the question, what is deconstruction? I would like to allow Jacques Derrida to have the last word. Derrida was asked what deconstruction is not. What deconstruction is not. He replied, everything, of course. Then Derrida was asked, what is deconstruction? What is deconstruction? He replied, nothing, of course.